Johnson hit from behind by Hamlin, who had been tagged by Kyle Busch.
Yeah,
as things accordioned up. Matt?
And quick conversation between Tony Stewart and spotter Bob Jeffrey, a veteran spotter. This was some of that conversation. And Stewart said, "You didn't clear me. I thought I was clear. I thought I could make it." And he didn't. He took full apology for that incident.
Well, two of the Joe Gibbs cars, Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Two of the Hendrick cars, Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Two of the Michael Waltrip cars, Mark Martin and Martin Truex, along with Kurt Busch. Steve Burns.
Caught up with Mark Martin. It's been a tough start to Speed Weeks 2013. What happened, Mark?
Gosh, I hadn't seen a replay yet, but I saw a car sideways, and I thought we were all going to be fine. And then, like the 14 or somebody got sideways up there, and then the cars up higher on the racetrack tangled for some reason, and that's when the wreck really happened. We were headed, we were going to get through there, and I got squeezed. I tried to squeeze Martin down, and he was there. I couldn't move down any further. 24 was coming, and I couldn't move. But somebody got turned, and it looked like it was going to be okay, but then there was a secondary accident, it looked like, kind of on the higher side of the racetrack, and there were cars all in between me. So, gosh, we didn't get very far along there, did we?
Glad you're okay, though. Heavy impact.
I just want to thank, Aaron's and everybody at Michael Waltrip Racing. We got fast race cars, and, the 500 still to come.
Thanks, Mark. Let's go back to Mike.
23 Sprint Unlimiteds for Mark Martin, tying Bill Elliott for the most. But for Mark, it's over.
The miraculous is everywhere, in our homes, our minds. We can share every second in data dressed as pixels. 1 billion roaming photojournalists uploading the human experience, and it is spectacular. So why would you cap that? My iPhone 5 can see every point of view, every panorama, the entire gallery of humanity. I need to upload all of me. I have the right to be unlimited. Only Sprint offers truly unlimited data for iPhone 5.
At Goodyear, we make tires for the world's most demanding drivers. Meticulously crafted to help handle 200-mile-per-hour turns. Always evolving to face the grueling demands of NASCAR. And everything we learn making tires for our most demanding customers inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR.
If I had a nickel.
If I had a nickel for every rain delay.
For every time my mom said I should have been an architect.
A doctor.
A lawyer.
For every itch I couldn't reach.
For every time I used fluid dynamics to reduce my drag coefficient.
For every time.
For every time somebody joked with me about having gas.
For every time I couldn't find my sunglasses.
For every time I pretended a grocery cart was a race car.
For every time.
Are we bidding for 4 tires in Sunoco?
Man, if I had a nickel.
If you had a Sunoco Rewards credit card, you'd get a nickel for every gallon you pump. Go Sunoco.
Let's pinch our dreams. Let's wake them up. Make them real. Let's not let anything hold us back. Not even 292,000 pounds. Let's keep our head in the stars, our feet on the ground, and nothing will be beyond our reach. Toyota, let's go places.
Inspired by true events.
I'm not a drug dealer, Dad.
I'm gonna get you out of here.
How?
By going undercover.
It's Dwayne Johnson's best movie yet.
Every move that I make, Jason won't have to live with.
And what if you don't live?
Snitch, rated PG-13, starts Friday.
Sprint Unlimited is sponsored by Sprint. Millions of fans, one family, only Sprint can beat them all. Join the family at sprint.com/speed. Lap 15, 7 cars involved in the wreck back at the Hollywood Hotel, including Kyle Busch, who won last year. And, this is not about the generation of car, Brad Keselowski, more the generation of driver.
Well, as drivers, we're all learning. And Tony Stewart looked like he had a hole, thought he had a hole. In the old car, he might have. And this car, he didn't.
We heard Darrell talk to Tony before the race, and he said, I got to figure this thing out, DW. And right here, what a run Tony had. He's thinking lead. We've seen him be aggressive since the drop of the green. He was the first guy to shoot to the outside when things kind of strung out. He smelt the lead, dove into a hole that wasn't there, and unfortunately, a lot of really good cars were wiped out because of that.
A learning process, Mike, as we continue with the drivers in the Gen 6 car.
Yes, Chris, 7 cars involved, not including Stewart and Ambrose at the front of the field, whose initial contact triggered that pileup.
Top 5 drivers stayed out, but we had some drivers that hit pit road like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane, drivers that were not involved in that crash.
Magic number 15. We've not gone 15 laps in any of these practice sessions or tonight without having something happen.
Kenseth and Stewart stayed out, along with 16 of Biffle and the 99 of Carl Edwards. They did not pit under this first caution flag of the night. We're back to green.
And Larry, one thing about this car, it may be a new car, a whole new design, but it acts a lot like that car last year. Remember how many times Kyle Busch got sideways on the apron, sparks flying, just like Tony Stewart tonight.
Well, we saw Greg Biffle down here at the test. He was basically 90 degrees and drove out of it.
Yeah, what happened down there was Marcus Ambrose had to run up the hill in front of Jimmy Johnson. When he did, everybody accorded him behind him.
Jack Kenseth out in front. Down to Steve Burns.
Michael Kyle Busch has just assessed the damage to his race car. And Kyle, I know you don't want to be in the garage this early. Tell us about the racing out there tonight.
It wasn't bad. I mean, we really hadn't gotten going yet. I think we crashed about lap 15 or so, but just really unfortunate. I mean, we wish we could have been around a lot longer to learn some more things and see what can transpire later in the race. But I don't know what happened. I saw one car sideways on the bottom. I think it was a 14, and then the 11 and 48 got together or something, and we just got sandwiched in the fence. So all these M&M's guys, everybody on this whole JGR team, they worked too hard to get crashed out like this, but you know, not enough pieces to go around to put this thing back in action. Plus it's hurt on every single corner, so it's I don't think it'll see the light of day again for a while.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate your time. Let's go to Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, I'm here with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy, from your viewpoint, what happened?
I saw sparks in front of me, and I'm not sure where they came from and what started that, but I saw sparks and I knew it wasn't going to end well, and sure enough was collected. So just unfortunate. Didn't get many laps, but I got a few. I got a good feel for my race car. Feel very good about our race car. I think the 14 and I were working the outside and really you know, charging our way to the front. So I'm encouraged for our 500 car. I got some ideas for the setup. I'm just bummed out that I'm not out there racing right now.
Glad you're okay.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I just got to tell you, I don't believe we're done wrecking yet. These guys are, I mean, these cars are moving around a whole lot, especially when they get 2 and 3 wide. And they just seem to be buffing off of each other.
And now
what
Biffle,
a move.
Look at Biffle dropping to the bottom as he got a run on the number 20 of Kenseth. And Biffle to the lead, but not for long, as Kevin Harvick in that red and white Chevy on the outside gives Matt Kenseth a boost back to the front.
Yeah, that 20 car is pretty darn strong. I mean, he's the guy right now. He's got the fastest car, looks to me like.
But Darrell, it's almost like he's driving out the back window as much as he is the windshield, just trying to see which line is moving behind him.
Remember, he has a new spotter. Matter of fact, we had an accident here yesterday. He kind of blamed it on the spotter that he didn't clear him. So he's working with a new guy. They may not have their communication down real well yet.
Look at the run that Joey Logano got in that 22 car on the bottom, and he really didn't have anyone behind him pushing him. Drove right up there on the bottom going into 3.
That is Brad Keselowski's new teammate in that Penske Racing. Kel Penzel Ford, Logano. Jeff Hammond.
Here with Jeff Gordon right now, and Jeff, pretty wild night, pretty short night.
Yeah, that was way too short. I mean, half the battle and goal for this race is to learn something for next weekend's duel and the 500. And I mean, the cars definitely, you know, as far back as I was, they become a handful a couple laps before that, but handling wasn't an issue. We had good handling. You need a little more speed, so we'll work on that. But you know, I can't tell if guys are just getting out of control or if they're getting hit or what's going on. But you know, several guys start shuffling back to the back, and right there I saw somebody get loose on the inside, and then the outside lane somehow was affected by it, and it's a domino by the time it got back to me, and we were in it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. We just had the first breakaway of the night. Matt Kenseth and Kevin Harvick pulled away from the field by 3 or 4 car lengths coming out of turn 2, and the field caught them all back up by the time they exited turn 4.
Yeah, it does look like that these cars really can get a run. When you get in the right position, just like we saw with Tony Stewart, we saw with Greg Biffle, you see Tony jumping out of the line right there. You can get a real run with these things.
And Casey Kane in that 5, the minute Tony went to the bottom in the 14, Casey was right with him.
Remember, no driver-to-driver communication allowed. That was outlawed 1 year ago.
Darrell, we've had 4 or 5 drivers throughout this race log laps over 200 miles per hour average.
5 laps to go in this first segment. Back to Jeff Hammond.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm down here with Denny Hamlin, one of the victims of that crash. From your viewpoint, could you see what went on?
Yeah, it looked, whatever happened with Stewart, whether he got hit or just got loose, but looked like some guys were starting to fight handling issues just a little bit right before that wreck happened. But shame for our FedEx Camry. But wish we could have ran a little bit more. But it's part of this race, and we at least handled the elimination part already.
Appreciate your time.
Hamlin's number 11 ended up in the fence. Coming off turn 4 to complete 26 laps. 1 caution flag early, 7 cars involved.
Look who's coming back to the front, Larry. Making a charge up that outside again, Tony Stewart.
Got a little help there. Martin Truex Jr. in the 56 and 3 or 4 other drivers right behind him.
Next time by would be the last opportunity to pit under green. Doubt there'd be any takers since there's a 4-tire stop mandated at the end of this segment.
Yeah, I think the only way that would have been an element if the fans had voted to no pit stop as far as changing tires. I think they would have come in and got fuel before that caution.
But I think it shows how knowledgeable the fans are that have been doing the voting. They're voting for racing on the track, not some trick gimmick thing. It's all about being on the track.
So as the last car in line, that is Marcus Ambrose, comes past the commit line now, pit road closes. And we have 3 to go in this first segment.
What I like about what the fans voted, that's going to take fuel strategy out of this race, because they're going to be able to come in, get 4 tires, fill it up with fuel, and then we'll have roughly 45 laps to go with the 2 segments at the end.
Steve?
Mike, interesting insight from Dale Earnhardt Jr. He told his team the outside line will accordion so bad and we would all go backwards. It was weird. Bottom line works the best.
Yeah, that outside line doesn't look it's working too good, except for Tony Stewart. He's out there and making moves, man.
Here he comes again.
Strong horse right there. That 14 car, Tony Stewart, is looking racy.
Looking back from Stewart, that is Martin Truex. Drafting with Stewart. Matt Kenseth alongside, now in 3rd.
Martin's able to get just close enough to Tony, as you can see, to give him that shove that he needs. He's up on that right side where you got to be to make a push.
But Kenseth's car is so strong. He went back to the point unaided.
Tony Stewart's pretty sneaky. He might decide that, well, I don't think I'll show Matt everything I got right now.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 was making a run on the outside, then he got dropped kicked backwards. You can see he's still losing spots.
29 complete at the stripe. Kenseth the leader. 1 more lap in this first of 3 segments of tonight's Sprint Unlimited.
Here comes Tony.
Is just not ready to give it up on the outside, and now he's got a little bit of help from Kevin Harvick in the 29.
And Matt has, Kenseth has no help.
No help. With you. You're clear. You're clear by.
Well, you do the math. 1 Toyota against 3 Chevrolets lined up on the outside.
Kenseth's able to hold his own pretty darn good down there all by himself. Here comes help. Carl Edwards in the 99's trying to get up there, but Smoke's got this segment, I think, under control.
No points, no money for leading the segment.
Well, now
he'll be the first on to pit road, and it will be Tony Stewart to lead segment 1 at the conclusion of 30 laps. Matt Kenseth second, Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Casey Kane. The top 5. Biffle, Truex, Montoya, Almirola, Logano, the top 10. Ambrose and Earnhardt are the 12 cars running at the end of 30 laps.
Okay, boys, let's take a deep breath. Whew. This kind of racing makes me a little tense.